Block party turning up the volume. Miller on the slide. Game, set, match.
Spectacular crowd inside Mackey Arena. Purdue builds a huge lead.
It's all! The hammer! Purdue is going to beat Tennessee here at the Broadway Block Party.
It is down. History for Dave Shondell. The all-time wins leader at Purdue.
Welcome back to the Dig City Podcast, brought to you by Franciscan Health, the official medical provider of Purdue Athletics. I'm Cory Palm. He's Dave Shondell. And, Coach, last week I said let's get back together and talk about 2 more wins, and that's exactly what we're doing. Yeah. Took it to the limit both nights. 5-set wins up in the Great Lakes State over the Spartans and the Wolverines. And we got to start off the top. The resiliency of this team continues to go to new levels.
Yeah, it's been a treat to watch this team with a bunch of unknown quantities coming into the season to be able to go out and play the way that they're playing right now and just not be bothered by anything. It was funny. We're playing at Michigan, and we lose the first 2 because Michigan comes out like a house on fire. Yep. And, one thing I've learned from, listening to great coaches, whether it be John Wooden or my father, Dr. Don, that teams can play at a really high level, but can they sustain that level of play? And when you find a team that's playing that way, your team just has to persevere. Okay, let's just slow down. Let's not panic. Mm-hmm. At some point in time, if we can put our game together, they're going to come down to their level. Water seeks their level, as the term might be, and eventually they did start to come back to us a little bit. They're a good team. Mm-hmm. I think they're a maybe a Sweet 16 team if they continue to improve the way that they are. But it was just a matter of our guys just staying composed. Yep. Cassie Anderson got off to a terrible start. We subbed her out, brought Natalie Moravec in. Natalie did a really good job of holding things together for us. And then at one point in time, I felt like it was time to get Cash, who is kind of our real tough customer on the floor, and we needed to get her, back into the game. So we did. And then again, the 5th set, who was ringing the bell? Cash Anderson. Yeah. So, but anyway, I'm not sure where the question was, but our team is holding together well, and they're growing. These kind of matches can only help you grow. People have been texting me periodically, why are we doing the reverse sweeps, and why are we going 5 all the time? It's tough on them, they say. Yeah,
sure.
And I'm thinking,
really easy for you on the sideline, though. Let me tell you,
it's just one of those things where it does make you stronger. It makes you understand how to deal with those situations. Mm-hmm. So I think everything that's happened so far has been just unbelievable. But it also has been very beneficial to our team that we've dealt with some tough matches, because we're going to have plenty of those down the stretch.
That's for sure. It doesn't get easier in the Big Ten and in the postseason, of course. Just to put some stats on what you said, Michigan came out on fire, hit 300 in the first set. They hit 560 in the second set, 16 kills with 2 errors. And I know, that's not just them being super dialed in. Mm-hmm. There were moments where they were being helped by their opponent, but to be able to weather the storm, make some small adjustments, and stay in the fight. You'll see that in points, just in any random match. If you just stay in the point and let it play out, maybe you have a frantic dig and you just give a free ball back over, but the most important thing was you stayed in the point. Yeah. You stay in the fight against Michigan. Give yourself a chance and see how it comes out. The Boilermakers with the reverse sweep over the Wolverines. That came 2 days after, about 36 hours after you were nearly reverse swept yourselves at the Breslin Center after taking the first 2 sets pretty handily. And then Michigan State came back and sort of the reverse situation, except the 5th set went the way of the Boilermakers, even being down 10-7 in that 5th set. What's going on again in that situation in your huddle when you know Michigan State's playing well, but you're definitely not out of it because of what you've seen this year?
Well, at one point in that 5th set, I told our players that nobody's going to die here tonight. Okay, I mean let's relax a little bit because you could see the looks on the faces. I said, if someone's going to die, it's going to be me. Okay, it won't be you guys. Okay, I'm the old guy here. So let's just go out and play. I said, this isn't going to be the end of the world for anybody. All right, we're playing a little tight. We're feeling a little bit of pressure. They're playing at a high level. They're on a roll. Let's just see if we can go out there and do the things we did in sets 1 and 2, where we pretty much controlled those particular sets. And of course, the team responded well, like they always do. They find a way to respond, and somebody steps up and makes the plays that are necessary. But I just want to point out, Michigan and Michigan State are right around 30 in the RPI. This isn't chopped liver.
Right.
You know, sometimes
teams.
we look at teams in volleyball, and it'd be like, you know, Matt Painter's team going on the road and playing Wisconsin and Northwestern when those teams are NCAA tournament teams. It's hard. It's nothing easy about it. And to think that this team is now undefeated in every match that we have played away from home, and that's been 14 of them. Some of them have been on neutral floors, but most of them were on the opponent's floor. And this group of young, inexperienced players coming into this season have found a way to, you know, bite the bullet and find ways to win and play so well together as a team that I think they're surprising a lot of folks.
That's good. And some of those matches were neutral in name only. You go down to Nashville to play Tennessee, you're getting a home crowd, whether you know that's what the record says or not. I was talking with communications director Rachel Coe yesterday, and we were talking about the schedule. You know, we looked at the schedule coming into the season, and there were some tough non-conference matches for sure, but it didn't look like a murderer's row. Man, you look at the way it's shaked out. SMU's in the top 10, Tennessee's in the top, you know, flirting with the top 15. There's some really good teams that are really performing well. Kansas is top 25 still.
I mean, you just look at South Florida, who nobody really has an idea how good they are.
Yeah.
And they're a top 25 RPI team.
Yep.
And I felt like when we played those guys, they were a top 25
that was a tough match.
RPI team, and that they were going to have great success. Now, it's worked out beautifully for us because most of the teams, with the exception of Bowling Green, who's lost, their best player has not been playing for them. And those are the things you can't control. You know, when they play us, that best player has like 75 kills against us.
She was so good.
Well, she's been missing in action for most of the season, and they've dropped around 500 on the season. But everyone else, the opponents that we've played, they have done their job, and that's helped. That's why our schedule is like the 15th toughest in the country right now, strength of schedule. And our RPI is in good shape right now. I think number 6.
Number 6 this week.
This weekend, and you know, now we have this stretch, and this is going to be the key. 6 of our last 8 on the home boards, 5 of those in Holloway, 1 in Mackey. Can this team step up now and do the same kind of things on the home court that they've done when they've gone on the road? And I think just the fact that we're now more seasoned and more experienced, that I think that the chances of us winning at home are going to be pretty good.
Yeah, that's for sure. The one thing you always think about in sports, well, it's easier to play at home. You've got the home court advantage. You know the gym. You've got the crowd behind you. But there's also potentially more distractions at home because you're leaving the gym and going back to your apartment or to your dormitory or wherever that you live.
I hate to say it, the academic schedule.
That's also true.
That we've had just a real terrible time getting our players to practice on time. Because just they've got to take classes.
Classes are demanding.
And sometimes these kids that are getting far along in their academic career, they have to have this class. It's working out okay, and academics is the priority.
It is.
It is the priority. But man, we've got to figure out how we can make sure our players are getting to practice.
Well, six out of the last 8 at home. We're going to talk a little bit more about that home court advantage in the second half of the show, and what some things that we can do to make that even better. In fact, let's go ahead and take a break right now, and we'll come back and talk about some breakout performances over the weekend and some upcoming matches. Stick with us.
The Dig City Podcast is brought to you by Franciscan Health, the exclusive healthcare provider for Purdue Athletics. Franciscan, inspiring health, working for a better tomorrow. Go to franciscanhealth.org for more information. Now, back to the show.
You know, I haven't done this yet, but thanks to Rob Blackman for doing our ad read for Franciscan Health. He reached out to me. Rob Blackman, the voice of the Boilermakers.
Does a nice job.
He does, and he wanted to get involved. He loves Dig City, watches, listens every week, so keeping up with the Boilermakers. 6 of the final 8 regular season matches are at home, starting Friday night against Penn State. You've got a couple back-to-backs here coming with the next 2 weekends.
Old school Big Ten.
Yeah.
And that's the way that it used to be for all of our listeners who may not know that. The Big Ten used to always play on Friday and Saturday nights with no exceptions, okay? And I remember lots of coaches' meetings where we would talk about, do we want to spread this out or not? And everybody said no, because the NCAA tournament is always Friday and Saturday, and you got to learn how to play back-to-back. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden TV came into it, and they started moving things around, and then football Saturdays had a big impact on things as well. So now we haven't played a Friday and Saturday night combo in the Big Ten yet.
Yep.
But you're right. This weekend with Penn State and Iowa, following weekend with Maryland and Oregon, one way or the other.
Yep, Maryland and Oregon.
They're Friday and Saturday. And the benefit of that, if there is one, is that you get the whole week of preparation time. You're not having to, hold things back because you're playing on a Wednesday or on a Thursday, so you can't go hard on certain days.
True.
So this is not a time of the year where you really go hard, to be honest with you. But I just put about 8 things up on our board in our meeting room, things that we have to get done this week and that we're going to get done this week because it's time that we have to focus on a few things that can make us better. And when you look back, we've gone 3 sets in a row, if I'm correct.
Yep, that's true.
Fortunate to win all of those. But you can't just assume that because you're winning, things are going fine. They're not, okay? There's things that we have to improve on. And we're happy we're winning, but we have to find time to focus on certain things, and that's what we're going to do this week.
That's really important point to make, that winning cures all, but it doesn't make you make the mistakes not exist. That is very true. Does it help being a more seasoned coach who remembers the old days of Big Ten back-to-backs, where you can put together a weekly plan because you can harken back to when we used to have to do this all the time?
I suppose. There's a lot of good coaches in our league. We played 2 young coaches this weekend that I was really impressed with, Kristen Kelsey from Minnesota and Aaron Virtue at Michigan. And when you watch their teams play on film, and I told Aaron Virtue this the night we played them, I said, you're doing a heck of a job, because it's easy to see how functional your team is, how organized, how they play with such purpose. There's a plan. You can just see it when you watch them play on tape. And, of course, then they jump out to a 2-0 lead on us. And, I'm feeling, they are pretty well coached and talented as well. So, but I don't know. I mean, you better learn how to make adjustments in life, whether it's coaching or not. So going from where we're playing, getting those breaks in between matches and have a little bit more time to prepare. The hard part about this is you play with Penn State on Friday, and then you've got less than 24 hours to have your team emotionally, physically prepared to play an Iowa team that is really playing well right now. So these are 2 huge matches. We talked a little bit off the air about what kind of crowds are we going to have, and I mean, I don't know what our people want. This is a team that has played way beyond anybody's expectations. I mean, it's a storybook season going for these people, and I can't imagine we're not going to sell out every single match, including the Indiana match at the end of the year in Mackey Arena. I think there's about 3,500 seats left. Tickets left for that one. But this is the time to knock the doors down in Holloway Gym and be a presence for this team. Because we could sure use you. These are, I mean, right now our RPI is number 6 in the country. If you get into the top 4, you know what that means.
I do.
Okay, that means you could host the first, second, third, fourth match of the NCAA tournament. And, you know, we've never been in that position before. This is the best position we've been in ever. The number 6 RPI seed in right now in the NCAA, and now it's time for the people to get behind this group like they never have before.
And you get a great chance to do it Friday night. It's a weird start time. It's a strange day. It's a
defending
5:30
national
start.
champions are coming in.
Exactly. Defending national champs are coming in. It's a huge match. Boilermakers currently stand alone in second place in the Big Ten. A great opportunity to make a difference, but pay attention to that 5:30 start time. Get there for the start of the match. Get there early and make a difference.
Well, the beautiful thing is that you can come watch the volleyball and then walk across the courtyard into Mackey Arena and watch the basketball game as well. Okay, it's a double dip. And but the big thing is we're playing a conference match against the defending national champions in Holloway Gym, a place that only holds 2,500 people, and people can't get in. But yet we've got some people that have tickets that can't get here for whatever reason. And this has got to be the time for this program to have every seat filled.
And then on Saturday, the Boilermakers, as Coach said, welcome in a tough Iowa team. You can do a double dip there as well with football during the day, and then go tailgate a little bit.
They just beat a good team on
Hawkeyes?
Saturday or Sunday. I don't know if it might have been Illinois. I think they beat Illinois
That's
this
a great,
past weekend.
Great win for them.
They've got 2 or 3 wins in the Big Ten right now, and they had a tough schedule early on. Jim Barnes is the head coach at Iowa, and he's just done a very solid job of continuing to add pieces to his team that are making them better and better. And the one thing about Jim's team is they're always organized. I mean, they're well coached. Sometimes they may be a player or two short of being able to compete at the highest level in the Big Ten. But, you know, I've watched them a lot here in the last week already, and he's got a really nice team. So that's going to be 2 Jim Dandies that we've got to be ready for this weekend.
For sure, yeah. The Hawkeyes beat Illinois in 5 in Champaign, no less. So a great win for them. And they will play at Indiana Friday night, so it is a back-to-back night for everyone this weekend. So, okay, we've talked a little bit about upcoming opponents this weekend. We'll talk about next weekend's opponents next weekend. Don't need to worry about that. 4 straight home games for the Boilers is the most important takeaway here, and get there and make a difference for the old Gold and Black. A couple breakouts this weekend. Bianca Lulich was fantastic in the middle, had her 2 best games that we've seen as a Boilermaker, no doubt. Talk about what sort of leveling up she's doing.
Well, I think our middle blocking situation kind of describes our whole season. We've not had more than 2 of them healthy for a match. You have to have 2. And yet we've been able to survive with that, okay? And Lindsey Miller has been out for like the last 3 or 4 weeks. We think that, as we talked last week, we think we're going to get her back.
Hopeful, right.
But at what level? You know, you just can't bounce back and all of a sudden be the same player that you were when you were, you know, playing night after night after night. But back to Bianca. Bianca Lulich is a transfer from Miami of Florida. She redshirted her first year at Miami, played last year, was kind of in and out of the lineup. She's 6'5". When you look at her, you think, wow, what a volleyball athlete. Just looks just ideal. But yet, early on in her career here, and while she was at Miami, there'd be matches she was pretty good. There'd be matches where she didn't get anything done. And that's kind of how she was for a while here. And then when she got inserted into the lineup and started to play and take responsibility for what she meant to this team, then her game just really, really rose. And offensively, she was really, really good against both our opponents this past weekend up in Michigan. And we're going to need her to continue to grow as a player. And she's one of the greatest kids I've ever coached. She's funny. She's the most unselfish person ever. She's here for all the right reasons. And if she continues to get better at the pace that she is, she's going to make us really hard to beat.
10 blocks against Michigan State. to go along with 8 kills.
We had 19 blocks outblocked them 19-2, and barely won the match.
Yeah.
But that's just the way volleyball can be sometimes. Just like against Michigan, they beat us in every statistical category. Sometimes we've done that. We've got, we've beaten, won the categories, but gotten beaten in the match. Well, here's one against Michigan where I think they out-hit us by about 100 points, and they outblocked us, and yet we found a way to win the match.
Well, that's the thing. It's a bit one of the quirks of the sport is that you reset the match gets reset after every set. Yeah. It doesn't matter what just happened.
Yeah.
You get beat 25-0 and then win 27-25 and it's even. So it makes it fun,
Who else broke out?
Fun for us to watch. Well, Ryan McAleer continues to be phenomenal on the back row, and she's just one of the best liberos in the Big Ten.
She's making libero play look easy as a sophomore, and that's hard. This is the best volleyball conference in the country. The most physical players in America are playing in the world, for that matter, now, because we're starting to get a lot of international flavor into the Big Ten. But Ryan just does a great job of competing, of bringing tremendous enthusiasm and competitive spirit to the squad. I've said this before, she's a really, really good player who thinks she's even better than she is, okay?
That goes a long ways.
Which is what you want out of that position. You have to have that in that position. And so Ryan is a great serve receiver. She's passing about a 2.35 on the season, which is toward the top of the Big Ten. Defensively, she makes tremendous amount of plays. One area that she's really gotten better is her serving. Sometimes when you're not long, it's tough with the angles of serving, okay, the trajectory of everything, to be able to serve the ball tough on a straight line above the net, because she actually has to serve the ball up to get it over the net, okay? A lot of our players can serve the ball almost in a straight line. But she has found the ability to punch the ball and put it into deep corners and different spots. And, she's piling up some aces here in the last couple of weeks. And but what she brings to our team is just that enthusiasm, that competitive spirit, that teamness that she pulls. She's a connector. She pulls everybody together. And again, we didn't know where we would be with libero. We've had a lot of different liberos who have been really, really solid. She has come in, and she's going to be as good as any that we've ever had. Some of our fans that have been around for a while can remember Carly Kramer. She's a Carly Kramer type of a libero. Just great confidence, great belief, all about the team, and her skills now are matching up with her emotional strengths.
Yeah. The other person I wanted to single out, just statistically, the match Grace had against Michigan State, 15 kills, 18 digs, 6 blocks.
Yeah.
I mean, that is filling it up. Three assists, which is a funny number.
And we talked once before about we didn't think that she was going to be in the back row this year. We just didn't know if she, coming off of an entire season without playing, how is she going to be able to be a 6-rotation player in the Big Ten? But, she talked to me about that was what her desire was. And the reason she is 2 things. One, defensively, she is incredible. She's just got these long arms. She's disciplined. She doesn't, a lot of people want to play defense so bad that they're jumping all over the place.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're never where they really need to be. Yeah. She's composed. She understands attacking, and she just makes a ton of plays as a right back player. We went years and years and years and didn't get a lot of defense out of right back. Now we've got Grace Heaney, who's making a ton of plays, Taylor Anderson. Both of these guys got really long arms. And so that makes a big difference. If you can just stay composed and not feel like you've got to be somewhere all the time, but just be in a spot and make plays. We're going to play Kennedy Martin, who's one of the highest profile players in America, 6'6" right side player. She's going to attack a lot of balls towards our right back players.
Yeah.
That's just how it works, okay? She's on the right side over there. She's going to hit a lot of cross-court balls. I'm feeling better and better about our chances against those kind of players that hit that cross-court shot when you've got the right back players that are really starting to make plays for us. And so, but Grace's ability to make few errors offensively is what's made her really, really special. Yeah. And now she's starting to increase the velocity in which she attacks the ball. even out of the back row. You know, there was times I thought, how is she going to put balls away in the back row because she's coming off of that surgery? Well, doctors did a pretty good job. Our rehab did a pretty good job because every week she gets more pace on the ball. And when you think that she's got 2 more years wearing a Purdue jersey in that position, which is, you know, the opposite position is one of the most important positions in the sport of volleyball. It's a comforting feeling, I'm sure, for our Boilermaker fans.
Can't wait to see where her career continues to go. As you're talking about defensive position and confidence and poise, it reminds me of an old adage from watching hockey goalies that just make regular saves. You're not making spectacular saves because you're not out of position. Yeah. You make spectacular saves, you're diving all over the floor trying to get a ball because you made a mistake and you got yourself out of position.
Make the tough plays look easy.
Yeah.
That's how I like to say.
I like that.
Don't make the easy plays look tough.
I do too much of that in life, stumbling over words and whatnot. Boilermakers, Penn State, 5:30 on Friday in Holloway, and then Iowa, 7 o'clock, the more traditional start time, Saturday. So go cheer on your Boilermakers at Ross 8, and then get over to Holloway Gym and cheer on your Boilermakers again.
Yeah, excited tonight to go watch Matt Painter's team, Evansville, who's always been a very solid outfit. Will be in here, Missouri Valley Conference team, but this is going to be a fun season. I know the expectations have skyrocketed, and that's always interesting to see how teams respond to that. Yep. But boy, we got some players.
We do.
It's going to be a fun season. Looking forward to that. Katie's team off to a good start last night. Beat a team that's supposed to win their league, Farley Dickinson. Yep. And we made it look pretty easy, I thought, last night. But Katie would tell you differently.
She did too. Yeah. She let fly in that press conference. I would not have wanted to be in the locker room.
I tried to settle her down a little bit, a couple of texts last evening, but she does get fired up. But I think she understands that this year is super important for this program, and she's got the personnel that can play. And I'm excited to watch both our basketball teams get off to a great start.
So are we. We're excited to watch our volleyball team as well. Coach, good luck this weekend.
Thank you. Boiler up.